Hello everyone and welcome along to this video review of the HW-N950 Soundbar by Samsung in collaboration with Harman Kardon. Now a few days ago I posted an unboxing video. If you haven't seen that video you can click on around about here somewhere and view that video. So I've had the soundbar for a couple of days now and I thought I'll post a review, some of the options and some things I found out about the soundbar. So just to go over a few of the specs of the soundbar. It's obviously Dolby Atmos, number of channels 7.1.4. It comes with Bluetooth and Wi-Fi connectivity, and total power is 512 watts. Now on the underneath of the soundbar itself there's 3 HDMI ports, 2 in and 1 out, and obviously it has the ARC connectivity as well. Now the soundbar itself, it's got real good sound quality, so very impressed with it. I've had a number of soundbars to test and use personally myself in the past, and this is without doubt the best soundbar I've ever owned. Obviously the soundbar comes with its rear speakers and a subwoofer as well, which obviously does help, certainly with the Dolby Atmos and the surround sound effect. And it does sound really great. So as you can see, I have the soundbar wall mounted, and it's wall mounted underneath the 82-inch Samsung TV. And actual wall mounting the soundbar itself was a little bit tricky. The actual soundbar comes with 2 wall mounting brackets. They're L-shaped metal brackets. And the reason it was tricky is probably the weight of the actual soundbar. Now, although they are quite solid steel mounting brackets, you had to be real careful and make sure that actually when you screw the brackets to the wall that it's a real solid wall and a real solid connection to the wall. Otherwise the soundbar bowed a little bit because of the weight of it. So what I ended up doing is making sure obviously it was secured to the wall, but also bent the brackets up a little bit to actually get the level of the soundbar correct. And it seemed to work out fine. It's solid, it doesn't move, it's fine. However, just bear that in mind if you're going to wall mount the soundbar itself. Okay, let's have a listen to the soundbar itself. Now obviously on my camera here it's just a simple stereo microphone, and YouTube doesn't stream Dolby Atmos, so this is only just a representation of the sound, but it'll give you an idea.
Right now, you're listening to where cinematic audio has been. Because we are so used to hearing sound this way, we don't notice that it is merely a fraction of what its potential could be. But what if sound could be extraordinary? Again. What if sound could be captivating? Subtle. Authentic. What if sound could be deeper? More dimensional. There's no need to wonder, because you're listening to Dolby Atmos.
So that gives you an idea of the sound. Now we'll just dive into some of the features within the soundbar itself. So to the right hand side of the soundbar we have a digital display which shows a number of things. At the minute it's showing the TV inputs, so we can switch between them. So HDMI 1, HDMI 2, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and back to TV/ARC connectivity. And obviously this digital display also shows the functions that you're going to be selecting and the different settings. So you've got volume, then you can have settings for treble, you can turn them up and down, general bass, the voice synchronization setting and the speed of that, the center speaker volume, the side speaker volume, and similar for the front, and it's obviously front top, and then rear speakers. And now you've got rear level in general, and then you have the rear top level, and then you have a separate setting, a separate button on the remote control, which I'll show you in a minute, for subwoofer as well. You've got various sound modes as well, so surround, smart, and also standard. So the remote control itself, you obviously got a power button, input button, Bluetooth pairing button, mute, sound mode, settings button, and then the volume controls for the main volume and the subwoofer. Now let's take a look at the speakers. So the subwoofer itself, now there's actually not a lot to show you on the subwoofer because it's pretty much just a big black box, but the sound from the subwoofer is actually incredible. So the rear of the subwoofer, obviously at the rear we have the bass speaker air outlet, and the subwoofer itself connects wirelessly through to the soundbar itself. So onto the rear speakers, now quite small but very good sounding as well. Now they do have a front facing speaker and also a top facing speaker. Now obviously don't think you will actually see that on the camera. But very neat and compact size. Now some people have been mentioning on forums they don't know the actual size of these speakers because they're not actually listed on the Samsung website. So let's have a quick measure up of the speakers. So height wise, around 21 centimeters height for the speaker. Width of the rear speakers around about 12 centimeters, and then depth of the rear speakers 14 centimeters. So a couple of negatives about the soundbar. Now one of the things that I've noticed with this soundbar, and I've not seen it on any other soundbars before in the past, is that it goes into standby mode automatically after around 5 minutes. So if there's no sound going to the soundbar, it will automatically switch off and you'll default back to the TV speakers. Now that can be a little bit annoying, especially if you're watching a movie, you pause it to go and make a cup of tea or go and get yourself a beer. You come back 5 minutes later, you push play, and then you have to then switch back to the source, go into the menu of the TV, or get the remote control for the soundbar and then turn the source back on again. So that's a little bit annoying. Now some of the other soundbars that I've used, you can either switch off that auto standby feature, or they've got a much longer timeout for that feature to happen. So the second negative I've noticed about this soundbar is to actually get the Dolby Atmos experience, you must connect the soundbar to the TV via the HDMI connector through the ARC connector. Now, I've tried connecting it through Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, and I cannot get Dolby Atmos working via those other connection methods. Now, that could be the way I'm configuring the soundbar, so it could be my mistake. However, I was led to believe that I would still get Dolby Atmos via Bluetooth connectivity. And for the life of me, I can't get that working. Anyhow, not too much of a problem because I connected up the HDMI cables anyhow. But one thing to note, if you're purchasing this soundbar purely to have it somewhere away from the TV where you're not going to connect HDMI cables to it, just bear that one in mind. Or just check that you can configure the soundbar correctly where I can't. So that pretty much wraps up this review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give us a thumbs up. If you didn't, give us a thumbs down. And yeah, please subscribe to the channel. We're going to add more and more videos over the coming weeks. Hope to speak to you soon. Thanks for watching.